This video is going to be in response to a viewer request. I was asked to take a look at the Condor Mini Bushlore. Coming up on Survival on Purpose. So welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. This video is going to be a response to a request to take a look at the Condor Mini Bushlore. Isn't it cute? This is the baby brother to the Condor Bushlore, which I've reviewed on this channel before. So I had a request to take a look at one of these. I didn't have one, and I got to say thanks to Chris at Prepared Mind 101 for loaning me his to do the review. And there's a little extra to that. We'll talk about it in a minute. But I've been taking a look at this thing, and I got to tell you, I can see some really advantages to having a knife this small. And we'll talk about those in a minute too. But let me tell you about the specs real quick. And first of all, I'm sorry for the dim lighting, but I'm underneath a pavilion in a state park. It is raining all day long, and my camera is not waterproof, so bear with me. We'll take a look at this thing. Okay, once again, this is the Condor Mini Bushlore. The Mini Bushlore features a 3mm thick, 3-inch long blade of 1075 high carbon steel, an overall length of 6.5 inches, and a weight of about 3.2 ounces. Also has a wooden handle with a sleeved lanyard hole, and it comes from the factory with a very nice Condor leather sheath. Okay, so that's some of the specs and close-ups of the Condor Mini Bushlore. Now I got to tell you, I noticed this has got a little bit of discoloration, maybe rust on the edge. This is, again, not a new knife, and it is carbon steel. And again, Chris with Prepared Mind 101 was kind enough to loan me this so I could show it to you. But let me tell you my initial impressions. First of all, you can see this, it's got a little handle, it's got a nice little swell in it. I would call it a palm swell, but it's more like a finger swell for me. Nice kind of spear point sort of design, drop point, spear point. It's got a nice belly on it, just like the Bushlore. It's very, very similar to his big brother. It feels just great in your hand. Now, when I'm holding it, my ring finger just kind of fits right in that natural little depression there, and my first index finger here, and then the middle finger just kind of over it, and the pinky just kind of hangs out there. Maybe kind of like I saw Andy Griffith drinking a cup of coffee like this, because that's how sophisticated people do it. So, why would you need a knife this small? It's definitely not big enough to be a primary knife, in my opinion. But it is very compact, and it does feel really good in your hand. It's got a sharp 90-degree spine on it. It's 1075 high carbon steel. It's got a Scandi grind, nice point. I personally am one of those guys that like a big knife. But, you do have some trade-offs when you have a big knife. There's a lot of advantages to it, in my opinion, but even as good as some big knives are, like the Tahoma field knife, it leaves a little bit to be desired in fine work. So I think something like this is a perfect complement to a bigger knife, because in my opinion, if you practice with it, you can do most tasks with a big knife, and then you get down to the really fine stuff. Something like this is very helpful. So I'm not too sure about the leather sheath, the belt sheath. It's just not going to be a knife that I'm going to carry on my belt, because it's just small. I might strap this to a larger sheath and figure out a way to do that. This may not be the best choice for sheath for that. I mean, it's a nice sheath, don't get me wrong. It's just probably not going to be my primary knife. But Chris came up with a great idea, and I really like it. He had a neck sheath, kydex neck sheath made for it that fits in very well. You can wear it around your neck if you choose to do so. And that back here, and there it is. It stays in here very good. It's not very heavy, like 3.2 ounces. And if you need it, you got it right there handy for all your small camp tasks. And I think it was an excellent idea on Chris's part. Let me loosen this thing. I like it a little bit lower than that. I don't normally wear a neck knife either, but around camp I might. I'm not going to wear it through the woods probably, but around camp I might do it. But you can just tuck it in your shirt, and it really doesn't get in your way. 3.2 ounces, not very heavy, and I like the concept of this as a neck knife because it's a little more functional than some of the neck knives that I have seen. It's got a real grip on it, and you can actually use it. So what I thought we'd do is let's do some knife stuff with it now. Once again, bearing in mind this is not a primary knife. We're going to do a little bit of non-primary type stuff with it. So, I'm going to take it up here and just get rid of it. I got a piece of recently down poplar here. Just go ahead and kind of do some nice stuff with it. Cut some of these little twigs off here, and maybe get it down about size for work, you know, making traps or something like that. Although the reality is, most of us don't make a lot of primitive traps. That may be a survival skill you want to learn, but it's not something you do on a regular. Put a lot of pressure on that joint right there, and I'm just trying to see how. And you can see how my hand, if you can see that, my pinky's barely caught on that, and I'm just full gripping it for heavy duty uses like that. But we'll take it and try to, maybe we'll whack it off about right here. Let's just see. Get that out of the way. And then we'll whack this big one off too, and just see how that works. We'll get out of your way where you can see better. This is kind of green, but you could definitely scrape the inner bark off this thing if you didn't want to do that. Peel it off. You can see how well it scrapes, man. It just scrapes really good. There'll be some great fire starter stuff. We may take a look at that in a minute. So, I suppose you need to make a notch. Well, I mean, not rocket science, but it's very easy to work with. Perfect size for doing small stuff like that. Let's just see what we can do with this thing here with a feather stick. You can see I'm just turning this thing a little bit of time and trying to take advantage of those little corners I'm making every time I slice it. You wind up with a pretty cool looking feather thing there. So this was, again, reasonably green wood. Let's see if we can get what we can do about a fire. See if we can do anything. I don't know if we can or not, to be honest with you. It is pretty green. Now let's try one more. Let's try her that way, see if she'll light. Okay, a little better ferro rod. I think this ferro rod is not too groovy, but that's the Condor Mini Bushlore. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you've seen some of the attributes and capabilities of this little knife. And you know, one thing I like about it is not only is it cute, it's well balanced. Okay, well that's the Condor Mini Bushlore. And again, I think this is a great little knife to use for a secondary knife as a companion to a larger knife. Did a great job on all-around camp tasks. Really good job on fire prep and doing your lighter stuff. And I think Chris really has the right idea by turning this into a neck knife. He really, I think, turned this from just a cute little knife into a very functional piece of kit. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing, for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing it with your friends, for watching those ads. Thank you so much for shopping on Amazon through the Survival on Purpose links. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident. Be prepared. See you next time. Isn't it just the cutest thing? A cute little knife. Again, this is reasonably, well, it's kind of cute. Whatever.